Wisconsin Supreme Court has rejected a lawsuit involving one of its own members. And this lawsuit was asking for an order to block any attempt to impeach Justice Janet Protasiewicz. It should be noted Protasiewicz did not participate in this decision, but now this means Republican legislators may still have the opportunity to try to impeach Protasiewicz, something they've threatened to do if the new justice does not recuse herself from a pair of redistricting cases. The Wisconsin Supreme Court issued this decision with no further comment.